everyone. Today I'll be reviewing The Lost Daughter starring Olivia Coleman, Jessie Buckley, Dakota Johnson, and this movie is directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. So when I saw the trailer for this movie, I was like, "Oh, this movie looks like it looks really awesome movie." Although I thought the plot will go one way, but actual movie's plot is so different. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh, that is very surprising, honestly." So I did see some people on Rotten Tomatoes score, like some people are not liking this movie, like giving it 1 star because the way this movie was made, although this movie is extremely slow paced. So if you didn't like this movie, you didn't like how the story was, I understand, but I loved this movie. I thought in this movie, Olivia Coleman, she was absolutely amazing in this movie. I loved her in The Favorite. Also, I loved her, The Father. She was so good in both of this movie. Also, she's amazing in Crown. So when I saw her in this movie, I'm like, oh my God, she's so talented lady. Oh my God, this movie, when you watch her, you can see her talent is like you cannot measure it. She's so talented. But so is Jessie Buckley in this movie. I actually never seen anything from Jessie Buckley before. I know she has won some award or something. This is the first time I saw her. Honestly, in this movie, Olivia Coleman was amazing. So is Jessie Buckley. Both of these ladies, they are so good. Especially in this movie, you see she's playing young Olivia Coleman. And when we see her, this is, to me, I feel like this is where this movie kicks off. Once we meet Jessie Buckley in this movie, in the flashback scene, we see like Olivia Coleman. She actually has 2 daughters in this movie, and how she handles her daughter in this movie. Before I go to the plot, which I will talk about spoilers. If you have not seen the movie, spoiler warning I will give. Before that, I just want to say, Dakota Johnson, I thought she was okay in this movie. Although she was like, the way her character was, it's like she was playing all the other time she also played. Like she was way too naked in this movie. Especially when I think about this movie targeted audience, like even when you go to Rotten Tomatoes, target audience is not for this movie. It's not for men. Men will find this movie boring. However, Dakota Johnson, the amount she was naked in this movie, I'm like, oh my God, we already have seen you naked so much. If you have seen her movie 50 Shades of Grey, I was like little disappointed how much she was naked in this movie. Although she was good in some scenes, I wouldn't say she was amazing like other 2 actors. I will say she was okay. How was the direction in this movie? I thought also the direction work was okay in this movie, because I felt like when I was watching editing and some of the camera work, I didn't like the way she sometimes put this lady camera like on their face on some stuff. I didn't like the way she did it. I get it why she did like that. She wanted to make something different. So I wouldn't say the direction was great. I will say direction is okay. However, I did really wish the editing was better for this movie. Some of the scene really, when you watch it, you're like, oh my God. But I get it, what she was going for, Maggie Gyllenhaal. Overall, still very well-made movie. So now I'll go to the spoilers. So in this movie, we see in a young age, Olivia Coleman, she did have 2 daughters. Because beginning of this movie, I was thinking, did she have daughter? Did they die or something? So when the huge reveal happened in this movie, like she actually left her daughters because she was getting tired of them, the way they were like making her life, I guess, miserable. So this is where some people will find this movie extremely relatable, and the target audience for this movie is the I see so many moms like this on Facebook. They're like, oh, motherhood is so hard. Motherhood is this, that. Those people will eat up this movie. They're like, oh, it's so good. So the realistic approach for this movie had, I really appreciated. Again, I wish it was done, the editing was a little bit better. And of course, when you finish watching this movie, you have the biggest question. is why did she stole the doll? Of course, that is what the biggest question this movie will have. Because that is the story, I guess, like somehow it centers around. So in this movie, we see like Olivia Coleman, she basically, when she says Dakota Johnson and her daughter at the beach, she sees her and she starts like kind of spying on her. And I was like, ooh, this movie is really realistic, because I have actually met so many women like that, like this middle-aged women. Sometimes they will spy on you and then come to you and say this kind of snarky stuff. So this movie is really very realistic, and the way Olivia Coleman, she acted this like complicated person in this movie, I was like, ooh, so good. Of course, when we see actually she took the doll from that little girl, I think the reason for her taking that doll is like, I think she didn't like Dakota Johnson's daughter, the way she was treating the doll. Because in the backflash scene, we see her daughter, what was her daughter name? Veronica or something? She actually once broke her precious doll, like, she damaged that doll and she was mad at her daughter. I think it reminded her that, oh, this little girl also destroying that doll. I think that is the reason she took it. Then throughout the movie, we see she trying to repair it. One time in this movie, she was giving CPR to the doll. Oh my God. This movie was definitely interesting watch. Of course, the minute Dakota Johnson, she finds out, why did you take this doll? She's like, I don't know. So I think Olivia Coleman, when she said like, I don't know, I think she meant it, because she actually didn't know why she took the doll. But I think that like watching like Dakota Johnson and her daughter, like I think it made her realize how much she, realize, I think it made her regret all the decisions she took in her life. Like once she left her daughters and her husband and her life. Now, although in the last scene we see she actually trying to call her daughter, and from the conversation sounds like she actually never talked to them. That is what her character is, as she said in this movie. I am a selfish, self-centered person. That is true, actually. That is what her character is. Overall, it's a very interesting movie. It's not going to be for everyone, but I definitely loved this movie. I had a really good time watching. So interesting though, because you want to be knowing like what is she going. Again, this movie is made for Pacific demographic. They will really like this movie, but some people will not like it, which I understand, but I had good time watching it. And that was my thought on this movie. Let me know in the comment what do you think about this doll mystery, and if you enjoyed my review, don't forget to check out my other reviews on Netflix movie, and please take care and subscribe.